A memory of the brain's folds and understanding the self. There comes a moment when, looking inward more deeply than usual, a person encounters a simple and slightly unsettling question. What if everything I experience is merely the activity of my brain? This question is honest. The fear that often follows it is not. The brain is neither an enemy nor an illusionist. It does not replace reality, nor does it create it instead of us. It is an instrument through which experience becomes possible. Just as the eye does not create light but allows it to be seen, the brain does not create consciousness. It gives it a form of experience. When a person begins to understand themselves, the brain changes. Old connections weaken, new ones form. Thoughts begin to flow differently. Associations connect in unfamiliar ways. Emotions acquire new shades. This is not a loss of self. It is a sign that previous inner structures can no longer contain the accumulated experience. Fear arises when a person starts to identify themselves with these structures. When they decide that they are their thoughts, but thoughts can be observed. And if they can be observed, the observer is not them. Understanding oneself never emerges through logic alone. Logic can explain and organize, but it cannot replace lived experience. The more control and analysis there is, the further direct experience retreats. The brain works most, precisely when it is not forced, to hold and explain everything to the end. At times it may feel as though everything is happening in the head, and from this a conclusion is drawn that reality loses its meaning. But this is the same mistake as denying sound simply because it is perceived through hearing. Experience does not become false just because it has a medium. This becomes especially clear when it comes to love. Love cannot be reduced to a brain function. Yet without the brain, it could not be lived. It cannot simply be turned off for the sake of calm. When feelings are dulled in the name of peace, it is not pain that disappears, it is depth. What remains is silence, but without living movement. True self-understanding does not require the rejection of feelings. It requires honesty, the ability to feel without escaping, the ability to observe without freezing. Calmness is not the absence of experience. It is the absence of resistance to it. And if one day the thought arises, what if this is only my brain? The answer can be simple and sufficient. Yes, through the brain, but that does not make the experience unreal. It makes it human, and that is precisely its value.